Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yeah, this your boy again. Yeah, we coming to you live, bringing the lounge live right here at the home base. Yeah, just want to reach out. We made a video earlier today, and we put it out there, and it's healing or hurting. Stop bleeding on everybody. And sometimes things may come at you. You might not understand, the point that is being made or the subject of topic, and sometimes we can take things personal or we can misunderstand and that will lead to misinterpretation or a misinformation of perspective. And so, there's triggers, and things can cause things to erupt inside of oneself, things that may have lied dormant at one point in your life. And all it takes is one thing to bring you into an awareness of something that you may were unaware about, And so I just want to, give a little something because sometimes we can use terminologies and it can be way off base. We can believe in one side of our mind that we are dealing with something, but yet we may be far from what we may think or convince ourselves to believe it to be. And then a lot of times if we're not careful or we're not really dealing with the issue at hand to come to a point to heal, so like we, being healed to confront the issue, so that healing can begin. The mending of a situation, to resolve, and I always say this because I found this out, running don't solve problems, but confronting the issue can lead one to solving something, healing, or nipping it in the bud to like pop the head on that thing and squeeze out whatever that toxic is or that infection is. Because there's internal problems. And a lot of times we can lash out. Sometimes we can get into the blame game. And we it's like being in a glass house throwing stones. I know y'all very familiar probably with that term. And so we talked about today, like, if you don't heal what hurt you, you will bleed on people who didn't cut you. And, and sometimes it can come off offensive. Or a person listening to you can get the perception or can think that you may be directing what you're saying toward them. It's almost like, that saying, talk and act rather than to. And so triggers, things can trigger things, and you may not have that intention, it may not be directed, but because of that internal battle, because of those situations that we never confronted or never learned how to come to a place, to deal with the situation and so that these conflicts can be resolved. And sometimes you can forget about things, or maybe you can get into a place in your life where it's no longer an issue or it's no longer a situation that, you decide to let it rest and then forget about it. But all it takes is one situation. You ever heard that thing? The straw that broke the camel's back. Somebody can just have a conversation and now that volcano inside you erupts. And then, you know what, you can get in situations where people can move in a way or people can express themselves in a way to remind you of somebody in your past. It could be a family member, a co-worker, a community member. It can even be someone who you fellowshipped with. Or it could be someone you once was in relationship with, a love affair. And then you think that situation is over, it's deaded, I'm past it. And all it takes is something to come up in your life that will cause you to reflect back. And then that's not a bad thing at times, but it can show you where either you're over a situation or that situation never been resolved. Like soul ties. And so sometimes, we may not be aware, or we might not even have thought, about it, or never even had an inkling of an idea, or even an inkling of thought that a situation would evolve at some point in your life and come back up. And so, if we don't heal what hurt, we can easily become a bloody mess on people who had nothing to do with what violated us, disrespected us, abused us. And so a lot of times if we don't get them matters straight, it can happen in your careers. You can end up having a bad attitude. I mean, you can have all the credentials and certifications and degrees, even your master's or doctorate. You can even, be set up in your job or, workplace and promoted. And you might hit that supervisor position, or you could become the CEO of a company. But that bad attitude can knock you down. It can make or break you. And so, attitudes are serious, whether they be negative or positive. You can even become a role model in the lives of other people, like even in a spiritual position, like a pastor. You can even become a deacon of your church or a mother. But because of your attitude being negative, and because you never resolve those hurts in your life, and so, it ends up filtering out. And it ends up abusing other people. Those things that hurt you in your past or in somewhere or area in your life. And because you never confronted it, it never got resolved. You can end up taking your hurt out on innocent people. And so I just wanted to point that out. Something to think about. And we're going to be talking more on this from more higher levels, and different areas where these things can show up. And so we will be dealing with it more. So I'm going to end it right here. But I do want to thank y'all for taking the time out to even look at this video, And so we thank God for that, and all praises be to the Most High. And this is your boy. This is, George from Live and Learn Ministry. I want to say God bless all of you, and I'm keeping you in my prayers, even if I don't know you. Don't mean I don't have to pray for you. And pray for me. God bless you. Love you with the joy of the Lord. Signing off.